I was on Tinder the other day, and you know how sometimes you go past people who are more attractive than you feel that they are more attractive than you, so you swipe left because you think, well, they're not gonna like me anyway. Anyway, I thought I'd give her a try, so I swiped right. And anyway, she swiped right, and we chatted and we met up for drinks. And she said, I nearly didn't swipe right on you. And I was like, oh, why? And she said, well, I thought you were out of my league. I thought you were too attractive. And I was like, oh, because I nearly didn't swipe on you because I thought you were too attractive and out of my league. And there's a really, really fascinating thing. Hang on, I'm going to get it. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. So there are these two images of the same woman. And it says, how do people see themselves and how they are seen by strangers? An FBI forensic artist drew women's portraits in accordance with their own description of themselves without actually seeing them. Then he asked a stranger to describe this woman and make another portrait of her. Eventually, each woman received 2 portraits of herself, learning a very different lesson. Learning a very interesting lesson. The creator of this experiment was Dove. The result: all portraits based on self-description were radically different from those based on strangers' descriptions. An average person tends to exaggerate her own flaws, while strangers see the appearance in whole focus or positive features. Appearance in whole, focusing on positive features. So that was from Brightside, 13 social experiments that didn't go to plan. So this is the lady's description of herself, and this is what a stranger saw. So people really are not walking down the street looking at you and thinking things about you. They're just not. They're just going through their own lives. And if they look at you funny, it's because they're thinking, God, have I got enough money in my bank to pay for this card? And I do it a lot. I walk past somebody and make a funny face and realise as I walk past, I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to make a funny face at that person, but I was so focused on what I needed to think about that I wasn't concentrating that I was looking at somebody else. You know, it's really important that girls and boys and women and men all feel comfortable in their own skin and focus on yourself, because I think if you can do that and be comfortable with who you are, the friends and the boyfriends and the girlfriends that you have will be the ones that are meant for you, because you feel comfortable in yourself. So I was never confident growing up, never felt pretty, as every single woman does, which is what I've just explained. And when I had the girls, I remember thinking, because I seriously would have panic attacks when I had 5 friends and they'd come over for coffee, and every time they came over for coffee I'd have a panic attack, because in case I said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing, or would they go away thinking that I was weird, or and then I'd think about it for days and days afterwards and realise that actually they didn't even contemplate anything that I'd said wrong. And I just didn't want the girls to feel like that. So I would make sure I'd put myself out there, and I went to toddler groups when they were little and be really confident and go up and talk to people. I'd never sit in the corner. I'd just go up and introduce myself to people. I would go and, if there wasn't somebody that I felt I could go and talk to, I would go and talk to the people who were running it. But all the people in that group, no matter what they looked like, they might have looked cliquey, like they were all chatting together, or snobby or whatever. But no matter what, I would walk into that room and I'd think every single one of those women is the same as me. Every single one of those women doesn't particularly want to be here. Every single one of those women is feeling that they're being watched, judged, and yet they're not. But that's how they feel. That's how we're made to feel. Like we're being judged, but we're not. Especially not by other women. I mean, could you think about yourself right now and think, you know, how many times do you walk down the street and say, ooh, what's she wearing? Or, ooh, you know, we don't do it because we know how hard it feels to feel judged. So we don't judge other women. So nobody is judging you. So I would go up and I would talk to people, and even if they're in their groups, I'd go up and talk to them. And I've got some amazing friends because I did that. And it wasn't that they were talking about me or they were trying to exclude people from their group. It's that they knew each other and they were equally lacking in confidence. So they didn't want to put themselves out there and talk to strangers. They just talked to the people that they knew. So then it comes across that they're cliquey and it comes across that they're snobby. And actually they're not. They just literally feel exactly the same way as you. And they don't want to put themselves out there.